For me, it's about quality time. So
Mhm.
I take golf lessons with my son, Jack. I am not a
Mhm.
golfer, but we call him Country Club Jack. I mean, it's all at the public golf courses and stuff. Um, but I try to I try to see what they are passionate about and then do that with them.
Mm.
So um for the kids it's really quality time. I don't have that, I have them certain days. So on those days I don't work after, so I'm picking them up and I take them and that's very important to me.
Mm.
And it's just the moments, like we just
Yeah.
went on a sailing trip and I was like no devices. And so
That's
we sat
wonderful.
with no device and it was like,
That's wonderful. And
yeah.
and in my research, I read that you don't check your email, you
Mm-mm.
don't check your phone, you don't check media until after your walk, until after 10 a.m.
Yeah.
I think that's such a great practice. It's just setting boundaries.
Yes, yes. And
So,
it's great for my brain too, because
yes.
I decompress, I like set my intention for the day. I know like I'm like, okay.
So is that part of just your own way of balancing your life? Is talk about the boundaries. You've talked about boundaries as a new way you're working through. Is like that's part of love too, is creating boundaries.
Right. Boundaries. When I first learned about boundaries in Hoffman, I was like, boundaries? What's a boundary? I had no idea.
Uh-huh.
And right now I'm working on them pretty heavily because I realize how important they are. And I realized that I had some in place, which was this
Mhm.
10 a.m. It was a boundary. I
Mhm.
didn't call it a boundary, but I was like, oh, that makes me feel comfortable.
Mhm.
Um, I also think that like what I'm accepting and not accepting for the people, like there are certain things like with my partner and my love of my life, John, when I met him, I was like, listen, I'm like, it wasn't a boundary. I would call it a requirement. So I think there's requirements and there's boundaries to me. Like there's
Mhm.
boundaries where it's like, no, we're going to stop here. Okay. Or this is where I'm comfortable going. But there's also requirements that I have. So like for me, my requirement for my love, which is I was like, I need complete, I want complete transparency. Like if something like I just want to like know like I want to know what happens or not happens. And this is when we were dating. I'm like, so we
Mhm.
were like, if you're sleeping with someone else, I want to know so that I can make an informed decision
Mhm.
of what we're doing. Um, Physical touch, not just sexual touch, physical touch was important. And I'm like, you can never yell at me. And this is right when we first started dating, like 4 weeks in. I said, listen, I need to tell you my requirements and see if you're okay with them. Because if you're good with them, we can keep dating. But if not, then I can't date you